here in Alton, Illinois. I'm blown away by this place because this is the place where one of my favorite revivalists, he's very little known about him, but his name is Elijah Lovejoy. And he took a strong stand against slavery right here in this town. He was just a regular preacher, had a church, and but when a slave was beat to death, and nobody cared about it, he decided to become an abolitionist against slavery. So we're here in this post office, and this post office means a lot because Elijah Lovejoy did what most of us would do. He used the technology that was available to him at the time during the day to use it to get the message out that he was trying to convey to everybody. And that was how wrong slavery was, and that they needed the abolition of it. So he buys a printing press and becomes a preacher, taking a strong stand against slavery. And people began to shift from slavery to abolition, but there was an angry mob of slave owners who actually got frustrated and very angry with what he was preaching, and they came to his house, threatened him, and eventually they went to his house and they destroyed his printing press. So they destroyed his printing press, but then he orders a new printing press, and it comes to a post office. Well, guess what? This is the post office. I didn't know that. You see right here on the wall is the postmaster, whatever. This is the post office in Alton, Illinois, where that next printing press was delivered. This place is significant because it was in this place that angry mob, before that printing press could be delivered to Elijah Lovejoy's house, they came to this very post office and they destroyed that printing press and threatened Elijah Lovejoy's life again. Isn't that amazing? And so they destroyed the printing press. And so Elijah Lovejoy comes, and he comes before the mayor of the town, before the city council, and he says, look, it's the duty of the government to protect their citizens. And they said, no, sir, it's your job, if you want to stop all these mobs from coming to your house and all these things happening, your protection will be for you to stop preaching what you're preaching and printing what you're printing. And then he begins to weep in front of him. And he says, forgive my tears, I shed them not for myself, but for you and others. He said, I can't stop preaching what I'm preaching or doing what I'm doing because I would fear that the angel of the Lord with his flaming sword will pursue me wherever I'm going. I don't fear man, I fear God. And if I fall, my grave shall be right here in Alton, Illinois. Well, his words actually proved to be prophetic. The next day, an angry mob came to his house, burned his house down, and as he ran out to escape the flames, he was shot and killed. God has not forgotten about people like that. And I've been preaching about the ending of other injustices in our nation, from healing the race issue, and protecting the value of life, and even the life in the womb. And Elijah Lovejoy has been one of the people that is really, his story has given me fuel to move forward. And I just like to say that I believe his legacy is still alive today. And you look at the different people that God is raising up in this hour who are taking a strong stand for other injustices in our nation today. So anyway, all that to say, I feel so privileged to be here in this place. The other thing I didn't know, the Underground Railroad was here. Underground Railroad, you look out on this river here, and I was told that when this would freeze over, that's when the slaves would like to come. How many slaves you think were escaping, trying to find freedom, but broke through the ice and actually died there? There's something so powerful that Hugh actually said. But one of the things that the people would do here, they would actually put lanterns. The folks who were part of the Underground Railroad would put lanterns in their houses, and if the escaped slaves on the Underground Railroad saw that lantern in their house, they knew that was a safe house for them. So Alton, Illinois was also a safe place for people who were escaping slavery in Missouri and other slave-holding states. All that rich history here. And then the other thing that's amazing about this place, the 13th Amendment was actually put together here in Alton, Illinois. And if you know anything about the 13th Amendment or seen the documentary about the 13th, you understand that there was a loophole in the 13th Amendment saying that if someone was a convicted felon, well, they couldn't receive the rights as a normal citizen. So it's interesting. Michelle Alexander talks about that in her book, The New Jim Crow. So it's interesting, all that rich history here in Alton. You have the generational blessings, you have the generational curses, and these dominating themes that represent storylines. And I think what God is shouting to America right now is the same thing he says, this message that he's giving Matt now. What storyline are we going to connect ourselves to? The healing of the hurt, the blessing of the curse, what storyline are we going to be a part of? So I believe God is raising up a new breed of abolitionists who are going to take a strong stand to see everybody flourish. And they're going to put their privilege at risk so that other people can flourish.